Good morning. Good morning. So I'm adjusting this because I've been warned about the popping peas. So let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. So my name is Rhea. I know I was introduced as Rhea Troutman earlier. This is my husband at Hardin. This is actually his notebook. I'm using his notebook. This right here looks to me like magical math. I have no idea what this is. He's obviously, a brilliant mathematician, and I'm always impressed. Magic squares. I have 2 daughters and 2 sons, all grown on their own, and I also have 2 granddaughters. I live in Corvallis with Atch and all my animals in my newly built dream home, which is great. There's going to be a question and answer period after I share. And I've had several drafts of this, and I chose the lighter version in the end. So I'm hoping that the questions will bring up more depth, more intensity. So I'm open to that. I'll do my best to answer. I can't guarantee I can, but I'll try. I'm a witch. I'm not a Wiccan, and there is a difference. So Wicca is actually a very new religion, about 50 to 70 years old. It's very organized. There is real structure that gets followed. People belong to covens with a matriarch, a high priestess. They usually answer to that woman. And I know a lot of Wiccans, and I love them. It's a modern take. I'm just straight up witch. So that's basically the difference. My first draw to witchcraft was a desire for self-empowerment. I was going through a creepy divorce, and I was going to a fundamental Christian church. There were some very good things there, but I didn't find the personal power I was looking for. The messages I was getting was my only chance really was to have faith and throw myself at the foot of the cross, which is profound spirituality, but wasn't working for me at the time for sure. I needed personal power. So I was going through this creepy divorce, and I wanted a balance of power, and I wanted tools to defend and protect my young children and myself. So, it was a rough period of time. As the years have gone by, I stay a witch for the beauty and balance of it. So I've evolved. So there is the ability to grow spiritually on this path. Balance is reflected in nature, so my path is earth-based. I look to nature for my omens and portents. I have countless stories of being out there and getting answers and healing and guidance from animals, from nature herself. It's very important to me, and it's important to most witches. Witches believe the universe responds to intention, energy, and focus. We have confidence in that. In my witch walk, I also believe self-knowledge and self-reflection are big steps to self-empowerment. Throwing spells around, unbalanced power around to control others and get my screaming 2-year-old desires met is not self-empowerment, but rather a stop to spiritual connection. I put this in here because I've literally been asked, how do you grow spiritually on this path? It's just about self. It's just about meeting your own desires. And this is one of the very many ways. So you stay on it long enough, you're open, you're willing to grow, you will grow. Witches change reality. So power to change reality, the ability to change reality, to cast spells, to create magic comes from here for sure. This is it. But tools and supplies also contain their own energy. So here's an example. Lately I've really been into holy water. I ask friends that are going to different places to bring me some from wherever they're at. I collect it myself. This has amazing energy, even though I'm not a Catholic. If you think just about the idea that there's a person that many folks thinks is qualified to bless this water and make it holy, That alone is very energetic. When you think about dozens, sometimes hundreds of people walking into church, touching it, to add blessing to themselves, and you think about the long-term ritual of this, that's a lot of energy that now I have. I find it beautiful. I find a lot of things about the Catholic path very beautiful. I'm lucky because I get to be on the outside, look in, see the thuribles filled with incense, look at the candles, listen to Gregorian chants. I'm a witch, I get to do that. So even though the power to change reality comes from here, and I can create magic on a desert island without tools, so can you. The tools are fun and good and a great thing to add. A balance of light and dark is foundational in witchcraft. As a result, I don't believe in Satan. Satan is an example of a powerful thought form. So I feel that many paths, and certainly many people, take what's inside and here that makes them uncomfortable, that they're afraid to look at, that they're afraid to heal or even think about really, and put it out here and call it Satan. And that a lot of people give that power. So now we've created a guy god. And I just choose not to add to that. He's not my guy god. The urge to turn everything into light and positivity is just as out of balance as the urge to dump everything evil into Satan. I am truly a believer in rewriting my story, but not being in denial about the harsh and dark things I am changing allows me to create a healthy and whole reality. I give huge credit to the law of attraction, but I think it is important to not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Rewriting my story without denying the dark part allows me to find the jewels and pearls in the messy, unbalanced parts. We grow and search when we go through very, very hard times, and there is the treasure. As a witch, I know during the times I can't imagine talking and taking another step, let alone continuing to be in abundance, I come out the other side with more self-knowledge. There is the treasure. So when I hear people say, witchcraft is dark, I usually smile and agree. Most witches walk between the worlds, very practical and proactive in this world, and aware, moving in intuition and psychic vision, sensing and seeing spirits in the other world that exists alongside this one. 1 foot here, 1 foot there. Most witches believe in many gods and goddesses. As a result, we are accepting of other spiritual paths and don't feel the need to try and convert others to ours. I personally believe a witch is born a witch. So I'm one of the people that believes that if my ancestry has had witches, then that is why I was born a witch. It may take me a while to get to that place, but if I was born to be a witch, it's going to get there. I'm going to get there. I find that whole concept beautiful, kind of romantic, alluring. There are people that call themselves a white witch or a good witch, and some that call themselves a dark witch or black witch. I don't know about these extremes and what they are. I do know that we need the dark of night as much as the light of day, as the dark allows inward reflection, restoration, a chance to recede, rest, and time to dream. The light encourages us to move forward, to open like flowers to the sun, to create, give, and share. With every big illumination is an equal shadow. Yin and yang. Hyros, gamos in the Greek. So this is reflected throughout humanity. It's not unique to witchcraft. Abundance, one of my favorite witchy topics. As a witch, overflowing abundance is very practical. First, one of the reasons we need reminders and pointers on how to manifest abundance is because if we accept responsibility for the positive and great magic in our lives, then we must also accept responsibility for the negative in our lives. So, accept it, move forward. When we acknowledge abundance in the moment, we are then ready to experience abundance in the next moment. So for me, this often starts out, first thing in the morning, I wake up. Am I breathing? Yeah, I'm breathing. Am I warm? Do I feel toasty underneath the covers? Yeah. Is there coffee waiting? This is abundance. And it's just really that simple and practical. Want even more abundance? Share and give to others. This really works. It's a universal truth. Promote someone else's abundance. If you want more money, give money. If you want beauty, promote beauty in someone else. See the beauty in others. Feel gratitude for the abundance around you right now. Remember the chain reaction. Small abundance becomes bigger abundance. The more you acknowledge the gift, the more gifts you will see. Find or open to the abundance in situations you typically don't. I've just recently gone through this, and I feel very fortunate that I'm able to use a silly and small example, because my life is just that great. So, I'm out and about all day in Missoula, 5 dogs in the car. My husband is irritating me. I've probably eaten junk. I don't feel very good. I'm tired. We have a massive amount of groceries to carry into the house. I know the house is a mess. It's getting dark. I've had it. I'm not feeling it. Okay. In reality, I have a beautiful home. I can clean it. I'm lucky to have all these dogs. I love my husband. I'm very, very blessed to have him. There's the abundance in a situation where I normally would have just been grumpy about it. Abundance can be found during hardship. After the divorce, my 2 sons and I were basically living on about $900 a month. And I was feeling it. I was feeling the stress of it. I was also feeling threatened and vulnerable. The boy's father wasn't being, he wasn't being kind. And it was a struggle. I was going through a very hard time. Luckily, my father pulled me aside, literally my dad. He pulled me aside and said, Rhea, don't let this spill over on the boys. It's not their burden. They're kids. And gratefully, I was able to hear him. So that opened the door for creating abundance, like right then. So I did things like buy bags of marshmallows for 75 cents, go to the river, build a little fire with the boys, toast marshmallows on sticks until the sun started to go down. This created amazing memories that still get talked about today. We went to River Park. I drew a 4-square on the pavement, taught the boys how to play 4-square. I also drew a hopscotch and got teased mercilessly because that is not a boy activity. They tried to teach me how to play football over and over and over again. That was also hilarious. We flew kites. On weekend mornings, the boys would get into bed with me and we would share. We laughed about anything that we felt to. The boys knew they were safe to talk about anything they wanted to. We teased each other, we teased other people. We talked about things that were worrying us or concerning us, at that point mostly the boys. This period of time is one of the most abundant periods of time in my life. We didn't have money, but we were rich. That's abundance. I believe each of us deserves overflowing abundance, and it's really already there. It's not something, at least this is what I believe, it's what I've experienced, that you call in or that you attract. It's simply there. it's there, and it's up to us to actually see it. And it starts off small, and then it's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming, and it's in every situation. Just be open to it, look for it, and it's there. I also believe it's our birthright to have it. I believe that it's not a situation that we don't deserve it, and by the grace we get it. I believe we were born to have it. So now question and answer. Yes?
Do you get together with other witches?
I do, and they're a very tight group of
We couldn't
women.
hear the question.
She asked, do I get together with other witches? Yes, I do. So I do call it a coven, and we are close like that, but none of us lead it. We're just friends, basically. We do ritual together from time to time. We do help and encourage each other to grow, but it's not a traditional coven. Yes?
Where does a warlock fit in all this?
Warlocks aren't really witches, so males, are also called witches. Typically there's more women witches than there are men, but there's certainly plenty of men. I know amazing, beautiful men witches. So warlock is a totally different thing, and I don't know much about it.
Is that like kind of taken from fantasy movies and stuff?
I think so, but I think it came from a source, and I just am not knowledgeable enough about it to tell you what that source is. So yeah, it's fantasy, it's from the movies, but they found it somewhere. Does that make sense? Well, look it up, because I think it's fascinating. A warlock is typically considered somebody who does evil.
And then like Aleister Crowley, like he was in a different ballpark, right?
Totally different ballpark. He was a magician, not a witch. I found, reading his works fascinating and helpful in a lot of ways. Not my path, if that makes sense. Yes?
Do you use earth elements in your ceremonies, like
Absolutely.
fire and water and stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I love them. As a matter of fact, in the ritual, we bow to each other. They know me. I know them. Yes.
I was just wondering how you found the witch's path. You were saying that you were going to a fundamentalist church and that didn't work. So
It's interesting. I just sort of stumbled upon it. I was in the library here in Hamilton, and I found a book on astrology. And smack dab in the middle of it, this woman who wrote the book said, try a little magic. I think she was talking about the planet Jupiter. And so I read the spell and I did it, and it resonated with me, so off I went. Plus, by then I'd already been exploring tarot cards, psychic abilities and so forth, secretly. Yes?
Rhea, I've found witches in other communities to be so welcoming and some of the most delightful people, self-aware, generous, loving. I've had a different experience here, and I wonder if you could speak a bit to that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I have beautiful friends, so I'm not including them. It's been interesting, and I think that overall, the Bitterroot Valley can be very polarized.
Yes.
And so I'm not sure that the Bitterroot Valley is the best representation worldwide, but I do understand what you're saying. I've had that experience as well. I think people get in tight-knit groups and feel threatened.
Yes.
Ray, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for saying yes, for following your list and opening that store you did, which was the first place I found Science and Mind books. So years ago, we were just in the back of Curb Traders. You had just a little set up there. I'm wondering, what question, if you knew you were among friends and you couldn't defend us,
Mm-hmm.
what
I actually asked my husband to ask it.
Could you repeat the question so others on this can hear it?
So Barb asked,
Thank you.
what question would I want, knowing that I couldn't offend any of you, that I was among friends? What question would I want you to ask me? Okay? So I actually set my husband up for this, but I don't think he felt the liberty. He was going to ask me that very question, so that then I could share. So there is a fear wrapped around witches, and I think it's valid. So don't mess with a witch, you know. Being a witch is about self-empowerment, and it's about being able to be a warrior if needed. I don't think these situations happen very often, and I think mature witches don't go off half-cocked and just, you know, hex and put the whammy on people. But you can count on it. You can count on it happening, and you can count on it being pretty brutal. So just, you know, be kind. Don't mess with them. Yes, Tina?
On that note, I would feel that if somebody attacked me, whether I was a Jewish or a Christian or Catholic or anyone, if somebody came at me personally and at my family, my motto was always, you want to come after me, great. Stay away from my kids. So it's not necessarily just the witch that will do something to you. That's the darkness you speak to. That we all have it. And when pushed, you never know what may happen.
Agreed. You know, I'm gonna add to this because I think it's a very, very valid point. I really believe
we're not hearing.
You're not hearing the question.
Right.
Well, basically, Tina explained that it's not necessarily just the witch that might fight back or respond, especially not necessarily if somebody's attacking you personally or me personally, but maybe our children, our family, our loved ones, that there would be a response. And that's the darkness within us, all of us. Okay? So I wanted to add to that by saying I believe in harm none. Just let that sit for a minute. Harm none. However, that starts with me. So if I allow myself to be a doormat, to be harmed, if I don't stop harm coming in my direction, if I harm myself, it's the same exact energy as if I was harming another. There's responsibility in harming that. Yes?
I had a fantastic ring with a pentangle on it. It was a ram's head with a pentangle on the forehead. And I wore that ring every day for years and years and years. I bought it from a jeweler who was with the Paul Winter Consort in New York. And he said that he had made it personally for a white radio witch.
Sure.
And I said, oh, that's nice, but I'm near the ram, you're the sheep, okay, Chinese astrology. And I like the pentangle, and I'm just going to buy it and wear it in LA. I was told by a woman that I went to see years later, I'm still wearing the ring, people give me cross-eyed looks. They see the pentangle, they think that I'm a witch, or say that I'm a witch, which I wasn't. But she was so like that, she said, bury it. And I'll always regret that I did that.
Oh, you did bury it, yes.
I took it off, I buried it, and I don't remember where I buried it, because believe me, I would have dug it up. But I love that right now. What do you think of the pentangle symbol and what it means to society?
Well, you know, really, it's deeply protective. It also shows up. I'm limited on time, so I'm going to have to, unfortunately, make this super quick. So it shows up in Chinese medicine. I mean, oftentimes you'll see the guy standing there like this. This is also, you know, a pentacle. So it's medical as well. For me, it means earth, air, fire, water, and the circle around it means spirit, which is, you know, not evil. We've got so many questions.
You'll be out later.
Okay.
And she'll be out coffee with us, and maybe you can ask questions there because we are way over time.
Way over time.
So I will answer questions, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.